What's up, guys? Doing a last update video before we end up coming into, let's see, I'm right about here, into the finish in a few hours time, about maybe 6 hours. Yeah, we've had an eventful day. You can kind of see back here on this tracker some of the different routes that people took. It was pretty, everyone did pretty much the same thing until we got off the coast of Australia. Then there was a bunch of jibing going on. But we still gotta go through some wind changes that are going to occur through here and then hook our way into the finish line over here. It's pretty much, at this point, I'm not counting Slow-Mo out. I think he's the oddball, but I think it's between Nomad, Orbiter, and myself over here. So this group of 4 right here, I think, have a chance at winning it. The wind's going to be pretty weird for the next few hours. You can kind of see this this big hole appearing. It looks better inshore where I'm at. I'm right here, and then we switch from downwind conditions to beating conditions. However, going into tomorrow, it looks like when we get into I don't know, Hobart Harbor here, or whatever you want to call it, that we lose the wind, and it looks a little bit better there than it was. Yeah, I think we'll be done by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning my time, but it gets pretty bad, so maybe 6 in the morning. So once we round this piece of land right about here, there's really not going to be any wind in towards the finish line area. So that'll be interesting. Other than that, I've had a bit of a problem with the wind, so things aren't really going my way. Land ho, by the way, there is some, see if I get up here, maybe I can see it. Yeah, there's land over there. So we're close to the coastline. All the famous cliffs and rocks on the edge of Tasmania, on the eastern side. However, you know, the game supposedly uses live weather, and I kind of proved that is not the case today with Sailaway, so yet another complaint from me. Some people say it's delayed by a few hours, but if we go back by a few hours and we hit play on the weather, the wind has always either been north-north west or dead out of the north. As you can see, you know, kind of like right here, it's coming out of this direction. And I planned on that, you know, strategically. I planned on the wind coming out off the shoreline here pretty much. And that's why I ended up in this close to the into the coastline, so I could carry my way down the coast and down here and around this landmark here. Unfortunately, the game is not even accurate as far as the real wind is concerned. And even on this application, it shows the wind coming off the shore. Instead, we're dealt with this unfortunate disaster. It's coming out of the northeast. And I've talked to a few people about it. Nobody seems to know why it's happening. But it's terrible. It's even oscillating as far as coming out of this direction where my cursor is bouncing right now. So that's screwed us over big time. And I think I'm going to lose ground on Nomad and Orbiter because of that, because I'm going to have to end up... It's pushing me into the rocks right now, and I'm going to have to end up jiving my way back and forth down the coastline here, where these guys, because they're farther out, they have a much better angle. So that really screwed me over, and I'm not too happy about that with this game. As far as, like, you look at the weather and you're like, oh, you know, if we were back here, for instance, oh, we should, you know, come over this way. You know, we have a better angle with the wind to carry us down to Hobart, and then, you know, this wind that's kind of doing this right now ends up coming from over here. It makes no sense. It's not realistic. This game says it uses real weather, and it definitely does not. And so yet another complaint of mine about this game, but oh well, we push on. As you can see by that, because of that, I'm sailing like really off the wind here. You know, this true wind direction here, I'd rather have, or true wind angle, I would rather have it about here. And because of that, we're only doing like 9-10 knots. But I'm just trying everything I can to get ahead of these guys down here as far as Nomad and Orbiter. I'm kind of getting pushed by the waves right now. I'm hoping that they'll push me down the coastline, but kind of hoping for a bit of luck. Let me pull this in a little bit. There we go. But yeah, I was not expecting the wind to be anywhere near coming out of the northeast. You know, even if you go back so many hours, 6 hours or so, it's coming off the tip of Tasmania here. So, you know, it should have been enough of an angle for us to carry it all the way down to Hobart. But it's not, so that's unfortunate. Looking ahead for the next few hours, and who knows if this will actually happen, because I don't think the weather is actually realistic, but supposedly it's supposed to switch from downwind conditions to upwind conditions, and we'll be beating our way around the corner here into Hobart. But who knows if that would actually happen, because obviously the game doesn't follow this that well. So how can we plan for the future? Especially the guys doing the Volvo Ocean Race. You know, when I did Leg 1 and Leg 2 on that, the weather wasn't anywhere near what was happening in the actual game, so it's very difficult to try and plan out what you're doing in the future. Yeah, it's nice to see land, nice to see a few birds flying around. We still got a few hours of daylight left, and I'm hoping to finish before dark. That'd be nice, but I don't know, we'll have to see what happens. And I have to get a few hours of sleep before we live stream the finish. Hopefully it won't be a drifting, you know, a drift match to the finish. Hopefully we have some wind down there. But let's see, let's go back here. You know, I took a 4-hour nap last night, and if you follow my track, I wanted to jibe about right here, and because I took a 4-hour nap, I don't trust the waypoints in this game. I ended up coming all the way down here, made a late jibe to come back, and I don't know. I think we might have been closer to Nomad and Orbiter if we ended up jibing a little bit earlier than we ended up doing. But we'll see. We're still waiting on a wind shift, and we're not getting it. And you know, we're supposed to be getting it. You know, every single weather app shows the wind coming off the shoreline here, and instead it's coming off of the ocean, off the northeast. So it's really screwing me over, and I'm just, you know, because I'm getting pushed into the rocks here. I can't sail a better angle. If I jibe, I'm going to lose out on these guys over here. So I'm trying to stay heading as far towards Tasman Island as I can without giving up too much speed or ground. And I'm just really getting beat up over here. It sucks. You know, it's teasing me too. I mean, the wind oscillated and it came off over here like it should have been, and then it came back over here. It's been stuck over here for like an hour now. So very unrealistic. You know, they say they use real-world data as far as the wind direction and weather, and they just don't. It's not even close. Very frustrating, but we're going to do the best we can. I'm going to try and take a nap in a few hours and then be back on the live stream this early in the morning for the finish. And other than that, we're just going to do our best and beat down the coastline here and hope to make up some ground. Hope that the wind shifts. I mean, if the wind shifted, I'd be fine, but you know, it's not anywhere near. The wind in real life is coming out of, you know, off the shoreline, like I said, and it's just not doing that, and it's really frustrating. But that'll do it for this update video. I was looking forward to the finish because it looked like it was going to be really close between Nomad, Orbiter, and myself, but now it's looking like these guys have the advantage. You know, I'm just getting beat up and pushed against the rocks over here with this wind direction, and it really sucks that, you know, the weather forecasts And the current weather models right now show the wind coming off the shoreline of Tasmania, and that would really help push me in front of these guys and hopefully be the first one to get into the harbor here. But it's just not doing that, so oh well, we'll see what happens, and I look forward to seeing you guys at the finish line for the when I live stream that. And see you guys then. Good luck to any of the other racers that are in this race. It's been great racing against you guys. It's been really close, competitive racing. And I like these little 1, 2, 3 day races. They're a lot better than the races that take a whole month to finish or more. So it's been good fun, and hopefully I'll get the race against you guys again soon sometime.